Welcome to my channel. I am Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective that investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I get into drag, talk about books or whatever, and to film videos later today. And we have Cappuccino. Nope, Cappuccino. Okay, thank you for checking in, Cap. So glad you thought to say hello at least. And Lynette is here. Hey, Lynette. So I'm trying an experiment. I have my microphone. I did get one of those arms that move my microphone this way. I'm kind of worried that I'm going to hit it doing makeup, but it is more out of the way than having it up ahead. And hopefully you can hear me. But if you have any issues with sound, let me know. Okay, so how is everyone's reading going this week? I am still reading Lightbringer by Pierce Brown, the sixth book in the Red Rising series. I'm sure I'm going to finish it in the next couple days. I'm like over 80% done. It's taking me a while to read, but I sort of knew that because it was such a chunky book. And the first half of the book was sort of setting all the pieces in place for the last half of the book, which is all space combat. So if you're into military science fiction or space opera, you probably really like Red Rising. John Crow is here. Hey, John. So glad you are here. And I was just mentioning my my sound setup's a little different, so let me know if there's any sound issues. So yeah, Red Rising. And then once I finish that, I'm going to jump into the Shove It or Shove It book, Thornhedge, the T. Kingfisher new book, which I'm kind of excited to start. Okay, so what am I going to do? I think I'm going to, last week I did blue with a pink lid, so maybe I'll do pink with a blue lid today. And we'll see how that goes. And as soon as I start, I'm remembering that dark pink is actually red. Okay, Lynette has finished Children of Arcadia by Darusha Wehrmacht, which is about idealists trying to set up a utopia on a huge space station orbiting Jupiter. GRWM. Oops. That sounds kind of cool. I like the word trying. I don't know if it's actual children, but since it says children, I saw your read the blurb or your blurb. I was thinking of oh, my mind blanked. Goldman's Lord of the Flies. Okay, let's try this. And since my microphone is here, I moved all my brushes here. So I just has to get used to it, I guess. Try this brush. Yeah, last week I filmed another video about genres doing space opera. I'm not sure when I'm going to release that, because this week I definitely want to release by Ray Bradbury. I did 10 Facts on Ray Bradbury. This looks a little purple. Actually, it looks a lot purple. Oh well, we're just gonna. Move forward. And I did start with these dark lines to help me draw my eyebrows. Not actually children. I'm trying to find a book. Found out if the book is considered solar punk. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder, is there like biomes and when I think of solar punk, I think of, harmonizing technology with nature. Who is happy that it's September? I'm not. This year is going by too fast. It's crazy how fast this year is going. But John agrees with you, Lex. Oh, the video I thought to do today. Because when I changed my channel video or my channel name to Booktube Goddess to Daisy Machina, one of the things I said was, oh, I'm going to do videos about more mediums of speculative fiction, like movies and TV shows. And I immediately forgot that and haven't done any of that. So today I thought it would be fun to do. I just banged this microphone. So to do a list of 10 lesser known science fiction movies from the 70s. And if people like this video, maybe I'll do like the 80s, maybe I'll go further back, 60s, 50s. I don't know if I could do 60s. Then I was thinking about other genres. Um, and horror would be easy. Horror has been sort of a perennial um, genre for all the decades, but not so much fantasy. And I was like looking at movies published by decade, and fantasy really didn't get started till the 2000s. I mean, you'll find your Conans and Willy Wonkas and that type of thing. But I don't know if part of it is that the special effects didn't really catch up to be able to do some of these stories um, until the 2000s. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, people seem to forget that fantasy was not a very popular genre until the 90s, I think. September is considered the start of spring in Australia. There you go. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's winter for you. I also finished the last book in the Doomsday Medieval Mystery series. I'm a little sad there are no more books. Jack Vance's second Planet of Adventure novel. That sounds interesting, John. I've only, I can only remember reading, well, I have it in the back here somewhere, the Dying Earth uh, books. Mm. I wish I didn't do purple. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, I may end up with a purple look today. For some reason, I didn't glue my eyebrows down enough. And if you're not a drag queen, you really don't know or don't care about that. It's annoying. I'm trying to answer a question on Facebook. What movie would you like to see a novel about? Oh, so that you could get more details of the story. That's interesting. Interesting twist. Of course, it almost never happens because movies are so limited in the amount of time to tell a story, whereas novels you have 10, 8, 10, 12 more hours of reading that you can get into details. Forgot to turn my phone off, of course. But I've been saying for a while now, the one movie I really would, or the one book or series I'd really love to see is, um, I keep on saying Jane Fonda. Fonda Lee's Jade War series or Greenbone Saga series. That's such an interesting allegory. I think you could say allegory on the Cold War. That I think it would be a really interesting miniseries. Especially since young people now really just don't seem to have a concept of what the Cold War was like. Okay, I am. Oh boy. I am happy to announce that I've just ordered ROM, the original Marvel Years Omnibus. Oh, the original. That's interesting. Yeah. Mm. Okay, this pink. Actually, I think I'm gonna. Yeah. Just adding a little white back under the brows because I completely covered it with pink. Oh, I finally watched the first. Well, they're only 3 episodes out. The first 3 episodes of Wheel of Time, season 2. Which I think I am enjoying more than the first season. And I believe part of that is um, I had like really high expectations when I saw season 1, but then I was disappointed for some of their interpretations of the series. But now that's all baked in. So there's really nothing more that they can do to really. Well, I guess there is, but so far anyway, I'm fine with or have accepted what they've decided to do to Wheel of Time. So the second season is kind of a better experience for me. Okay, this microphone definitely does get in the way, but I said Orphan starring Matthew Modine. Oh, interesting. And Albert Finney. However, that is a bit of a cheat because it is. Oh, is it a movie already out? What movie would you like to see? Okay. Oh, okay. Misread the question. What movie would you like to see a novel about so that you can get more details of the story? Okay. Totally forgot that. Don't think you'll bother with Wheel of Time unless you're a big fan of Wheel of Time and just want to see the interpretation. Unless you really like the first season, yeah, there's no reason to continue. Still need to watch Good Omens. um, well, since I'm just put together this video on 70s movie, there is a movie that is so weird. It's one of the weirdest movies you'll ever see, called Zardoz, which if let me know if you've seen it, with Sean Connery, but it's very trippy, psychedelic. experimental sci-fi film of the early 70s. Uh, I wouldn't mind seeing a novelization that digs a little deeper into what that could possibly be about. Okay, what am I doing? Do I want to... I think I want to do some black. I did finish the all 3 seasons of the Hardy Boys on Hulu. And yeah, I don't think I'd really recommend it because it is a children's show aimed at young teens. But they did do a speculative twist to the show, sort of a sci-fi type twist, well, sci-fi fantasy. Not horror supernatural. But the last season, it went completely Black Mirror, which was surprising. And I appreciate they just set it for 3 seasons and they're not going to do more. They've pretty much finished up a story arc, and the actors really can't play uh, uh, young kids anymore. It was so funny because they made the Hardy Boys. I mean, if you read the originals, they're like 16, 17, 17, 18. But this one they made like the oldest one, I think he was 17, and the youngest one like 12 or 13. But the actor playing him went through puberty, I guess, during season or through the season. So the first season, he looks like a little boy. And then in the second and third seasons, they still try to make him look as young as possible, I guess, with the haircut. And he dresses in like these really young clothes. But he had this huge growth spurt. So he's like the tallest person on the cast. But it still kind of works because he has a baby face. But it's definitely the issue with series like that, which is usually why they age up the characters. Okay, so added the black. Why does this side look funny? Zardoz was weird, yes. I don't know if you would like it or not, Lynette. I mean, it's pretty all crass and violent and weird, and you know, at the time in the 70s, they like to show sex scenes and nudity and that type of thing. But it's an interesting story. Silent Running is on my list, John. Definitely is on my list. They might be making a new Highlander with Henry Cavill as Highlander. I'm not sure if he will be Connor McLeod or a different Highlander. You know what, Lynette? I did too. I really liked the series, and I did like the movies because they were so. The first movie, the movies, I think the first two movies were okay, and then it just got. They didn't know what they were doing. It felt like they didn't know what they were doing. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if I like the microphone here. I mean, well, we'll see. Okay. I hope they get the locations better than the original. There were no McLeods around Loch Shiel. Ooh, I wouldn't know that. Zardoz was Zardoz was filmed in Ireland, I think. Or maybe Scotland. I don't know. I'm American. We get Scotland and Ireland mixed up. I think this pen. Yeah, this eyeliner pen's about ready for retirement. Oh, here's the other thing. I have to like crouch down and this microphone's here. Oh, well, I'm not going to complain. I say as I complain. Okay. Your Scottish ancestors were MacIntyre and Stuarts from the region around Oban. Also Smiths from the Isle of Skye. Isn't that a great name for an island, Isle of Skye? Okay, so immediately I run into the problem. I don't have, I thought I had blue pigment. So I have to go with glitter. Problem with blue is a lot of the glitter is like turquoisey. Which can be problematic on a green screen. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I think we're good. But instead, I am going to do a blue undercoat. I know this is so not fascinating. I had grabbed a... I kind of wish I had black glitter. Okay, I'm just gonna... So yeah, if people like this video about the sci-fi films of the 70s, I'll do the 80s next, I think. I could definitely do the 80s because that's kind of my time period. Excuse me. And I guess I could do the 90s, but I don't know. I always think of 90s as like modern time rather than retro. Of course, the kids now, I guess, think of the 90s as retro, which is crazy, but I guess it has been 30 years. Sorry I'm late. I just started rereads of Paradise Lost in Middlemarch. Wow. Thank you for joining us again, Lori. We're just talking about, or I'm just talking about, um, today I think I'm going to do a video on a list of little known sci-fi movies from the 70s. Because I had said when I changed my channel to Daisy X Machina, I wanted to do more mediums, like TV, other than books, like TV shows, movies. And I'll probably do a wrap-up video for Wheel of Time. Just I'm not going to do episode by episode. That's for sure. Okay. Should I do a shadow over this? And then that's probably a good idea. It's not sticking. Okay, maybe this wasn't a good idea. um, I need a light. Oh, I'm all over the place today. Okay, now we're going to put on the glitter. Uh, read PL, Paradise Lost, and Middlemarch in high school, so I'm expecting to get a lot more out of them. One of my favorite little known sci-fi movies is The Quiet Earth, but that is from the 80s. Have I seen that? I don't know. I may have to see that. You may have given me a movie to watch. That was from New Zealand. New Zealand. Like that one too. I want to read the novel The Quiet Earth for so long, but copies were $400. What? Ah, you were disappointed the movie was better. Isn't that, yeah, once in a while you will find a movie that you like better than the books. For me, the one I always talk about is Travels with My Aunt, which is a novel by Graham Greene. And I love the movie. It has Maggie Smith in it. I think it's one of her best performances. Um, and it's interesting because at the time of filming, I would guess she was in her 40s, but she had to play from like age 17 to 70. Okay. All right, let's see how this goes. Um, Okay, blue. And I do have these chunky blue that I'm going to try to smear on top. Okay, the glitter is done. Children of Men and oh yeah, I love Big Fish. Both better than the books. I haven't read either of the books, but I've seen the movies. Okay. Okay. So, I think we're ready for the black chroma cake. I'm trying to think of other movies I like better than the books. You know, sometimes movies are just hard to compare to books. But you like them both, but for maybe different reasons. I think I'm one of the very few people that loved the movie Dune, the David Lynch version. I wouldn't definitely never say more than the books, but definitely for different reasons than the books. But it probably will never Never, oh, just watch once, never again. Must have liked it much more than you. Have watched it several times. I enjoyed. Oh, so finally, someone enjoyed Dune. Never watched Dune. I only read half the book. Okay, so it's not for you. I knew it as there was a long waiting list. Yeah, not every book or movie is for everyone. That is for sure. Although I don't know how people take it personally if you don't, if someone doesn't like what they like. I mean, it's like we all have different tastes. There's another movie that I remember when I saw it, I just assumed everyone loved it, and that was Buckaroo Banzai. Um, and it was it's a like cult hit. You know, one of those movies where there's a lot of people do love it, but it never really got a major release. But I guess when you're younger, you're just so oblivious to uh, market factors. I just assumed everyone loved it because I loved it, and that there was going to be a whole series of movies. I was just like thinking of more Buckaroo Banzai movies that were in the works. Because of the way it was framed, it did seem like there was there was part of a big series of Buckaroo Banzai movies. Mm. First, I thought you had really mean librarians. Dune and Lord of the Rings, I try and read every other year. Oh, interesting. I used to regularly reread Dune, especially when I was younger. I have books I reread regularly. This is around the time the movie came out. One of my boyfriend's sister called her son Leto. Oh, that's cool. To the character in the book. My granddaughter is named after a vampire in Van Helsing. That is great. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit of black. Try to This is going to be a day where I use up every brush. Okay. Okay, I think the eyes are done. Kind of didn't do a very good job at ombreing. Okay, I'm futzing around. This is the point where I'm just futzing around, and I should just get a move on. Books you reread: War of the Worlds, Day of the Trifid, Earth Abides, and some of the Sherlock Holmes short stories. I should read more Sherlock Holmes because they're free on Project Gutenberg. Earth Abides is such a good novel. I reread In Search of Lost Time, Remembers the Things Past. I have a couple others. One is a novella you read every New Year's Day. Oh, I like that. Currently listening to Earth Abides. Oh, and remind me to talk about audiobooks. I enjoyed hearing the BBC Lord of the Rings before bed. Oh, interesting. I wish Earth Abides had more recognition. Most people who have read it praise it highly. It's a hidden gem. Self-imposed book ban is over, but I'm not buying any books until my weight is down to 70 kilograms. It is 72. Oh, congrats. I sure I'll buy books. That's good motivation, maybe. Oh, I need to brush off this bake. Oh, I say I'm done, but I'm really not. just lost all the pink under the eyes. So using for some reason I forgot to put blush on. Losing weight too, but I don't tie any rewards to it other than new clothes. Or what's great is when the old clothes suddenly start fitting again. You guys, I don't know what kilograms are to pounds. $50 worth of books for every 3 kilograms lost. I will not be buying new clothes when I'm below 65 kilograms. Need to buy a belt. Okay. Hey, Lydia, lurking today. I'm reading nonfiction currently, but enjoying hearing about what others are reading. Cheers. I need to start my weights again. I just bought a rebounder. I don't know what a rebounder is. Is that like a trampoline? I need to lose about 4.5 pounds before I buy more books. Okay, there we go. 14,000 steps. That's great. I really need to be more active. Oh, I was talking about audiobooks because I only listen to audiobooks when I exercise. So I finally finished Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which was fine. It's a mystery, young adult mystery. I think some people call it a thriller. But then I picked up the Sandman audiobook, and that is so good. It's basically based on the comic strip, which is which was made into the Netflix show. And so if you like the Netflix show, you should like the audiobooks. But I'm kind of curious how they did the audiobook, but it is a full production. There is this epic music. There are so many actors. Neil Gaiman it's a writer, also narrated it, which may sound like a bad idea, but the narration, when an author does it, if they're not a voice actor, but the narrator, he doesn't have very many lines. It's like if you know panels of a comic book, the text that's not dialogue, that's sort of the narration. But what I'm wondering is, I'm sure he rewrote this for, I mean, it sounds like a radio play, but I'm sure he wrote it for audio. And I'm wondering if some of the descriptions is from like his notes to artists back when he did the comic books or graphic novels. They were comics at the time, but it's so good. It is so good. I mean, one of the reasons why I got Good Girls Guide to Murder is because I heard that there was a lot of these audio effects, and there were some, but it's nothing like The Sandman. This is a full radio play production. Okay. A small trampoline. Heard that the audio version, it is so good, DK. It is so good. I'm thinking about buying a treadmill before next winter. I have trouble walking in winter because so many houses here use wood heaters. Oh, because of the fumes. Had a treadmill and loved it. Originally released as comic books, then ink compiled into. Well, actually, DK, I bought the first Sandman comic book. I was one of the first, I say first responders, the initial audience of Sandman, because I remember it came out, and it was Dark Horse. I think it was a DC thing. But yeah, I have a lot of the original Sandman comics. Unfortunately, like the first I don't know, 6 or 7 when I moved from Maryland to or DC to California, San Francisco. I left all those comics. Hopefully, someone picked them up. It was a sort of a group house. I love Sandman and Stardust on my, or you have Sandman and Stardust on your TBR, and Neverwhere. Ocean at the End of the Lane, so I've read that recently, but I like Sandman the best. Okay. Yeah, I'm a huge Sandman fan. Okay, so let's put on some eyelashes. I think we're almost done. Hey, Jill. Thank you for joining us. Buckaroo Bonsai seem to be trying too hard to be cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. I love pieces, just not so much as a whole. Still, Ellen Bark in it, in anything, and I'm on board. Yeah, she was great. I also like the Peter Weller. I like that actor. But of course, the one who stole the show was, of course, John Lithgow. Read the entire comic series. Your ex took them all. Still, oh God. Sorry about that. Favorite is American Gods, but I love the Anansi Boys. Well, thank you, Lori. Just realized my stream was about 20 minutes behind. That's fine. I'm glad you are watching me at all. So, like I said, this week I will be releasing my Ray Bradbury 10 Little Known Facts about Ray Bradbury, which probably everyone knows, but and I'll be filming today the list of 10 little known movies of the 70s, science fiction movies of the 70s. Yeah, I do want to do more uh, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and I hardly do any horror, but in for movies and TV. Okay, this is where this thing is really annoying. Okay, this is almost the final look. Let me put on a wig. Oh, shoot, I just got. Hold on, I need to. My paper towels have fallen. Okay. Peter Weller was great in the White Tulip episode of Fringe. Oh, I forgot about Fringe. Hey, Joseph. Did you ever? Yes, I read Andrew Dreams of Electric Sheep. Body Use Blade Runner Printing. Reading that now. Watching my 4-disc DVD set. Wow. I want to learn to. Well, I'm terrible at putting them on correctly. Well, I do. don't follow what I do because I don't even put them on my lash line. But there is a drag queen that does put them on like a woman would. Well, see, she's also a wig artist. Wigs by, and she's Australian, and she's. Oh, this is driving me nuts. Don't you hate it? You think it's someone's name and then you can't. Um, Australian drag wig company. Vanity. Yeah, she has really good tutorials on eyelashes. Let me just. There. I've been busy with all the Wheel of Time content around the season 2 premiere. I was just talking. Yeah, I just posted the tutorial. Um, I was just talking about season 2. I think I like it better than season 1, simply because um, everything's baked in already. Like I did have some disappointments for season 1 of how they were deciding to interpret the series, but now that's all baked in, so I'm kind of enjoying it more. The one thing I'm not a fan of, which has to do with the with how they've done the screenplay and direction, and nothing to do with how they've interpreted the story. And this is true of all epic fantasy. Uh, and that is like a lot of epic fantasy, Lord of the Rings, Wheel of Time, Game of Thrones, they jump around to different points of view or different scenes because one character's in one place, another character or two's in another place, et cetera, et cetera. And when it's translated to film or TV, they of course have to jump around to capture the whole story. But in at least I'm noticing it in season two of The Wheel of Time. It just feels like they're jumping around a lot. It's like 1 minute here, 1 minute here, 1 minute here, loop around, 1 minute here, 1 minute here. And not my favorite thing. I just kind of wish they would just do one episode on Nynaeve, one episode on Rand, one episode, you know, but because I think that's how it was in Wheel of Time. I don't think Jordan jumped around like every other chapter. But it's been a while since I've read it, and I don't feel like rereading it just to find out. Oh, hey, Lydia. Yeah, Luke's by Vanity is amazing. She's so funny, too. And she was friends with the Courtney Axe, which I'm not even going to attempt to try to pronounce it with an Australian accent, but it's, if you say it right, it's like Courtney Act. Okay, and the wig I pulled is this necklace. Anyway, is one of my newer ones that you probably will recognize. Let me zoom out a little bit. So you can see the whole high thing. This is the, oh, I forgot gloves. This is the final look. I know if these big wigs, if I don't have like really huge earrings, it hides the earrings. And we did it in 90 minutes. Oops. Of course, it's a lie that this takes 90 minutes because I spend at least an hour, maybe more, before the video even starts or this live stream even starts, putting on the foundation and base makeup, which I don't really want to do on camera. Okay, now this is the final look. And today, like I said, I'll be filming the 10 movies of the 70 little known science fiction movies of the 70s. And if you watch it, please let me know if this is a series I should continue or if I should focus. Well, I'll know by the views, but if you comment, that does help out a lot. And this week I'll be releasing Ray Bradbury. And I have, last week I filmed a genre video all about soap operas, space operas. But I don't know when I'm going to release that video. I mean, it could be a while. Okay. Thank you for joining me. I will be here next week and hope to see you again then. And as always, may all the books you read be blessed.